Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Thanks so much for joining us here at 12:30 on KGW Plus. I'm Stephanie Domerat. Our Rod Hill will join us just in a moment to look at your forecast, but first let's get you caught up on this afternoon's top stories. Now this morning, a grand jury handed down an indictment against one of the two people shot by Border Patrol agents last week. Luis Nino Moncada was indicted on charges of aggravated assault on a federal employee with a weapon. The indictment lists the red Toyota Tacoma truck Nino Moncada allegedly used to ram into an empty rental car Border Patrol agents had been using. Despite Homeland Security saying Nino Moncada has ties to the Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua, so far none of those charges are gang related. Nino Moncada is set to appear in court later this afternoon for a detention hearing. Our Kyla Boshi will be there and have an update for us at 4 o'clock. Some Oregon lawmakers are pushing for new laws to protect people from tactics used by federal immigration officers. One of them, called the Protect Your Door Act, would allow Oregonians to sue individual agents who cause them harm. It would also require the feds give local authorities a 48-hour notice of ICE raids happening in the area. Lawmakers in Washington are also considering laws looking to protect people from federal agents' tactics, one of which targeting federal agents wearing face coverings when interacting with the public. Washington Governor Bob Ferguson says in the coming years, he wants millionaires to start paying an income tax, with the money going towards schools and small businesses. This comes as the state is dealing with an estimated $2.3 billion deficit. But some Republicans are skeptical the tax would only impact millionaires. Governor Ferguson says he will not sign the tax into law unless it's written to never impact people who earn less than $1 million in income a year, and only if it comes with tax cuts in other places. All right, let's check in with Rod Hill now with a look at your weather. Not foggy, but still cloudy out there today.
Yeah, and we talk about this a lot this time of the year when you get the fog and you get the low clouds, Stephanie. Often, if there's no wind and there's a temperature inversion, meaning it's warmer aloft, it's in the 50s up at Timberline. Right now, it's 30s and 40s in the valley. That there's no guarantee you're going to clear out. And if you don't clear out, then the temperature just sits there in the 30s and 40s all day. And that's the day we're having so far. I also want to point out, notice the clouds in Astoria to Kelso and then right down the valley. In addition to the fog we had this morning, there's also a bit of a marine push going on here. That increases the depth of the low clouds, which that alone makes it more difficult to wash everything out. We are getting sun along the central beaches, but cloudiness holding up along the north coast and the mouth of the Columbia. Earlier this morning, you could not see the Columbia River from this camera. You could not see the interstate bridge. So the fog is gone, but it's lifted into this low cloud base that's still solid. The view from the Vancouver Springs of the waterfront camera, 44 degrees is actually one of the warmer numbers we have here in the valley. Still some fog up in the West Hills, but downtown Portland is fog free. We are in the low 40s right now. Clouds, if they do not clear, we probably will not make 48 or 47. I think only that warm if the clouds do break a little bit after 2 o'clock today. Stephanie, back to you.
All right, Rod, thank you. Developing this afternoon, former Oregon Congresswoman turned Labor Secretary Lori Chavez DeRemer is now reportedly accused of misconduct, ranging from drinking in her office to having an affair with a staffer. National outlets report a complaint was filed with the Labor Department. The New York Post says that on at least 5 occasions, Chavez DeRemer pursued an inappropriate relationship with a staffer, drank alcohol in her office, and used work trips for personal visits, with the New York Times and Politico reporting her top 2 staffers are now on leave for facilitating those trips. Appointed by President Donald Trump last year, she denies the allegations, and the White House told the New York Post the claims are baseless. Oregon is once again suing the federal government, this time over an executive order targeting the use of federal funds to promote what the Trump administration calls gender ideology. The state's attorney general argues it puts funding at risk for some institutions that provide health care to transgender people. Our Catherine Cook has the details.
We need everyone in any kind of position of power to be fighting against these anti-trans legislations.
Advocates applauding Oregon, which just joined 11 other states suing the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. Oregon's DOJ claims the federal agency conditioned hundreds of billions of dollars on whether or not states agree to engage in anti-trans discrimination. In a statement, Oregon AG Dan Rayfield noted under a new HHS policy, recipients of federal health, education, and research funding must certify compliance with an executive order from President Trump that, quote, seeks to deny the existence of transgender people and impose rigid, unscientific definitions of sex.
I think right now the trans community is very scared. We're very angry because this isn't just about holding us hostage, it's about erasing us, it's about erasure.
Joelle Kim is interim executive director at the Q Center. She's grateful that Oregon is joining the lawsuit, but feels the emotional weight of those whose health care hangs in the balance.
Trans folks specifically should have the right to make decisions about their own bodies and about the health care that they're receiving. And so when that's limited on a federal level, it really does affect every individual, even in a safe place like Oregon.
Washington Attorney General Nick Brown also joined the lawsuit. The 12-state coalition is asking the court to declare the policy unlawful and block HHS from enforcing it. Catherine Cook, KGW News.
That lawsuit comes as the U.S. Supreme Court hears 2 cases brought by transgender students challenging West Virginia and Idaho laws barring them from girls' sports. After both had won lower court injunctions letting them compete, NBC News says the eventual ruling could affect similar bans in about 25 states and that the justices seemed likely to uphold the state restrictions on transgender athletes in girls' sports. Meanwhile, the Oregon Health Authority is narrowing which mental health providers are eligible for full Medicaid payouts as of the beginning of the new year. Now, just 2 weeks in, providers are pushing back, saying this change will have big repercussions. Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz joins us with the details.
I spoke to a psychiatric nurse practitioner who says that these changes coming from the Oregon Health Authority will have a big impact for providers and lead to drops in payments of sometimes 10 to 20%. He says these changes also came with just a month's notice. That's a big problem for his practice in Eastern Oregon, where 60 to 70% of his patients are on Oregon's Medicaid program. The Oregon Health Authority is also narrowing who is eligible for full behavioral health payouts. They say the changes are meant to counteract increasing costs and to ensure only providers who offer team-based care will be eligible to receive full payment. Those are providers who have things like peer support workers, specialists, and case managers. Still, Trevor Ratchko, that nurse practitioner we spoke to in Pendleton, says those are roles that bigger organizations have. At mom and pop shops in Eastern Oregon, he says many providers don't have a staff large enough to fill all those positions.
It disproportionately affects anyone who's rural. I would say anyone who's outside of a major metro area, in fact, because you see less of these services out in those areas.
Still, the Oregon Health Authority says the changes are meant to improve care for people in its system. Still, nurse practitioners and providers like Trevor Ratchko continue to push back and are taking it up the food chain in the state level. Thomas Schultz, KGW News.
Well, Portland Public Schools has approved a major change on which students can attend Jefferson High School. Last night, the board approved a resolution that sunsets Jefferson's dual assignment policy. That policy previously allowed high schoolers who live near Jefferson to attend Grant, McDaniel, or Roosevelt High School based on their address. Some members say the policy hurt enrollment at Jefferson, the district's only predominantly black high school, and new boundaries will begin with incoming ninth graders in 2027 to 28, phasing in fully by 2030 to 31. And coming up here on the news at 12:30, a follow-up to a KGW investigation into EBT fraud in Oregon.
At what point do we start going, okay, this is too easy?
The governor's new proposal meant to lock down thousands of Oregonians' critical food funding. And later, iconic Olympic snowboarder Chloe Kim shares an update amid concerns a shoulder injury could cause her to miss the games.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
It's certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
Welcome back. Now to a follow-up to a KGW investigation into EBT fraud. EBT cards in Oregon have no chip, which makes it easy for criminals to steal funds. Now the governor wants to do something about it. KGW's investigative reporter Kyle Aboshi has the update.
Oregon lawmakers are considering a proposal to help protect low-income families from having their food assistance stolen by scammers.
And a major EBT card security enhancement in response to organized criminal activity, including skimming and benefit theft.
On Tuesday, the Oregon Department of Human Services and the governor proposed that the state legislature fund chip-enabled EBT cards to strengthen security against skimming. Crooks often skim Oregon Trail cards by secretly attaching a small device to a checkout machine that sends card numbers and PINs back to the thieves, who then create fake cards and drain accounts.
I mean, to take from people that are already struggling, it's a certain kind of evil.
Over the past 3 years, KGW has reported on low-income Oregonians who had SNAP benefits stolen.
I'm like, this can't be. I know there is money in there.
We rely on those food benefits to eat.
My money was gone, and I didn't understand what was going on.
In November alone, there were 440 thefts involving Oregon Trail cards, according to Oregon DHS, totaling more than $91,000 in stolen benefits. In 2024, the USDA pushed states to modernize SNAP benefits, including the introduction of chip cards for SNAP EBT.
At what point do we start going, okay, this is too easy? we need to beef up our security here.
The proposed upgrade to chip-enabled cards would cost an estimated $12 million, split between the federal government and the state of Oregon.
And that was Kyle Ibushi reporting for us. Let's check in with Rod again. Looks nice where it is behind you.
Yeah, we have some sunny spots. The coast is kind of a mixed bag. Lincoln City, good afternoon to you. The clouds are pushed out. You are nice and sunny. Our newest live camera is up in Seaside, the cove south of downtown, where it is currently overcast, but it is dry. Your 7-day forecast, speaking of dry, that is coming up.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
All right, welcome back. Rod joining us in studio.
So one of the cool things about where we live, there are many.
There are many.
But when you have fog and you have low clouds and you look at a camera, it's up high and it's clear, then you realize if you could just get out of the fog and the low clouds, you'd have clear skies. So here's Timberline up above it all at 6,000 feet. Yeah, isn't it gorgeous up there? If you haven't seen this, it is amazing. It is 58 degrees up there. Realize Salem is still in the mid-30s. More than a 20-degree, what we call temperature inversion between warmer up top and cold down low. Remember when you were a kid and your parents say, hey, we're going to the mountains. What would you do? You put your coats on, you think it's going to be warmer. The opposite is true today. We are still looking at a bone dry 7-day forecast. Clouds will hold off, weather systems that is, and rotate up around us. Here's a look at what Futurecast shows. We still have the low clouds and the fog trapped. There is still fog in some spots down low, including Salem. This shows that Portland might clear out at some point after 2 o'clock today. No guarantee on that. It does keep the clouds in Salem and Eugene. You know, we've had light winds during all of this, which has helped set the table for the thick, dense fog that we had this morning. Now, tomorrow, things start to change up. Early in the morning, this shows no fog in Portland, and then eventually it also clears out the valley. And the question is why? And the answer is right here. East winds will finally start to pick up coming out of the Columbia River Gorge. They could pick up by early morning, and then in the afternoon, this shows Troutdale gusting to 33, and then the winds get stronger Thursday night into Friday, and this shows east winds gusting to 43. So assuming that holds true, there won't be any fog, and we'll get into just a couple, 2 or 3 perfectly clear sky days for the most part. You know, some areas are absolutely still foggy and really unchanged from this morning. I think this morning it was 38 at this golf course. This is the Reserve Vineyards Golf Club in Aloha. Still absolutely foggy and 43 with light winds. Here's the Chehalem Tasting Room camera in Sherwood. On sunrise this morning, this was actually clear and it was gorgeous. So in some cases, it's actually gotten worse in terms of the coverage of the low clouds and fog. Notice that the bricks, I think you can tell from home, they're wet. Signs that when the fog was really dense in the downtown core this morning, which it was, it was putting misty conditions across the area, and we haven't dried that out. So the surfaces are still wet. 43 is the temperature out at the airport. So our fog is lifted in Portland, but Salem, it's still clouds on the ground, 35. Eugene is still 33. No guarantee that you two folks, Salem and Eugene, will even get up to 40 today. Newport has sun and a 50. Bend is, look at this. Bend is pretty much like Timberline, 59, sunshine, and on the way to hitting 60 degrees. So this afternoon, 40s and 50s out east. This shows 61 in Bend now. Wow. 50s at the coast. We have the 40s. Some of you may not make it to 40, as we just saw, up and down the Willamette Valley. Here's our 7-day, which is all dry. We have the east winds picking up tomorrow, so that's clear Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Starting Sunday, we could get back into some morning fog with calmer conditions, including Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Monday, and then a dry Tuesday as well. That's the forecast.
KGW's Evening News. Important stories to help you stay informed and keep your family safe.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Christine Pidawanich.
And I'm David Molko.
Weather impact alerts to help you plan your week.
We need to be extra careful with anything that can throw a spark.
And a team of local journalists connected to our community. David Molko, Christine Pidawanich, and Matt Zaffino. Your Evening News team, tonight on KGW.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Well, we have a little more than 22 days until the 2026 Winter Olympics opening ceremonies, and organizers in northern Italy say the site of the snowboarding and freestyle skiing events will be ready. The countdown is on there. There were some concerns that the town of Livigno in the Alps near the Swiss border wouldn't be able to produce enough snow if the weather didn't cooperate. Organizers now say construction on the site is caught up, and they've added cannons to produce up to 200,000 cubic meters of snow, which is about 80 Olympic-sized swimming pools filled with snow. And despite concerns a recent injury would keep her from making good use of all that snow, gold medal winning American snowboarder Chloe Kim says she is good to go for next month. She recently dislocated her shoulder while practicing for an event in Switzerland. She posted an update to Instagram announcing that good news, saying her torn labrum is not as bad as first thought, but will take some time to heal.
Obviously, I'm really disappointed that I can't snowboard until right before the Olympics, which is going to be hard. I haven't gotten nearly the amount of reps that I would have liked, but that's okay.
Well, Kim won the halfpipe gold in 2018 and 2022. She wants to be the first woman to win 3 consecutive Olympic gold medals in the event, and we will be watching. And remember, you can watch the opening ceremony for the Winter Games in Milan Cortina live on Friday, February 6th, only here on NBC and KGW.
3, 2, 1, yay!
Meanwhile, the old Olympic cauldron was lit at the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum for LA 28, marking the official and very early lead up to the Summer Games. We are still 2.5 years out, but for those planning really far ahead, registration for tickets opened up this morning. So here's how it works. You can register today and then find out via email if you have been assigned a time slot during one of the ticket drops. Then, if Lady Luck is on your side, you'll have a chance to buy tickets during your designated time slot. And don't worry, you do have plenty of time. The window to register lasts until March 18th. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
Well, finally this afternoon, the U.S. Navy Blue Angels team is flying out to the Pacific Northwest this summer. It's part of their preseason planning for the Boeing Seafair Air Show and Oregon International Air Show. Ahead of both of those shows, the pilots are doing preseason planning this week. Seafair 2026 is set for July 31st through August 2nd, and the McMinnville Air Show will be held on August 14th through the 16th. Looking forward to the summer already.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say that's one of the big reasons people buy tickets to go to those events.
Yeah,
to see the Blue
absolutely.
Angels, right?
Totally.
Wow. 7-day forecast is still dry. Now, this goes through Tuesday.
We are still in winter, right?
Yes.
Okay.
We think we have a shower chance next Wednesday and an increasing chance of rain after that into that weekend. So that's a week from this weekend. This afternoon, if you get sun, go, hey, wow. I think a lot of us probably will not. I have Portland staying in the mid-40s, but east winds will bring a run of clear sky days as early as tomorrow.
Okay, Rod, thank you. And thanks so much for joining us. A reminder, we've added more live news to KGW Plus. You can tune in to Sunrise on KGW Plus from 7 to 9 a.m. and at 5:30. We'll see you today at 4 o'clock. Thanks for joining us.